Hi everyone, I'm Jamie Lincoln, Emerald Coach. Today I'm going to talk to you about building relationships and strengthening relationships. I have a short little PowerPoint that I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to talk through it as I go just so that you can see what I am talking about. Okay. So once again, I am going to talk to you about building and strengthening relationships. And I know this is going to seem like common sense, but honestly, relationships run this business, okay? The products, they can sell themselves any day of the week. We all hear the commercials on the radio. We see the ads. We see infomercials. We hear about them all the time, and we know that they work. So we as coaches, we bridge the gap between the product and the life-changing experience. So in the end, we want to be genuine, we want to make connections, and we want to offer our experiences to our friends and to our network. So we're going to do that by adding value to their lives and not draining them and that friendship, because we all know those people that it's a draining relationship. Okay, we want to add something to their life that they say, like, oh my gosh, I love Jamie, she helps me with blah blah blah, or we always do this together. Okay, those kinds of things are going to build your relationship and strengthen your relationship. I know that it seems like common sense to think, yes, build the relationship, because in the end, we are not selling the product, we're selling ourselves. So do your research, just like you would do your research if you were going to make an investment. So for example, my husband and I are looking at cars. So what do you do when you look at cars? You drive through the dealership, or you go online and you look at different comparisons, and you try and find what's going to fit your family and what's going to fit your needs. Do you want something what do you want in your vehicle? Do you want leather seats? Do you want cloth seats? Do you want a sunroof? Do you want navigation? That's the same thing that you are doing when you are building a relationship. You are getting to know that person, and sometimes it might require you to do a little bit of research without even talking with them at first. So you might have to look at their Facebook page, or look at their Instagram, or follow them on Snapchat, whatever your social media choice is. You need to get to know that person a little bit before you actually get to know them, if that makes sense, so that you have those talking points. You want to be able to share those experiences with them, and your adventures and your hardships and your successes, and find those commonalities. If you don't have things in common, you can either choose to not strengthen that relationship and put your time and energy where you can build a solid relationship with someone else, or you can try and find other things in common. It might take a little bit longer. And then you want to make sure that you have the right intentions when you are talking with somebody and building your relationship with them. You should not be thinking, this is a sale, or this is a Success Club point, or this will earn me so many trip dollars, or a t-shirt, or a hat, or a hoodie. Those are all awesome perks. Those are all something that this business offers us as an incentive, but that is not why you're talking to somebody. You should be thinking, how can I relate to this person? How can I help this person? How can I strengthen our relationship? So some examples: do we both have kids? Are we both planning a vacation? Do we have pets? Are we both married? Maybe we're planning a wedding. Maybe they just got engaged. Maybe you just got engaged. What are our hobbies, sports, interests? Do you have the same job outside of Beachbody? Obviously, you might be doing something else other than a Beachbody coach. Can I share anything with them? So for example, I am also a teacher. So some things that I have in common with other teachers, we have the same grade level. Maybe we're doing the same unit. We have the same challenges in our classroom. We can share stories. Those kinds of things that make it easier to relate to you as a human being, because although we might be behind a computer often talking to people, at the end of the day, you are still a human. You are still interested in that person, not just them as whatever their screen name or username is or their picture on their profile. Okay. If there's a couple different ways to strengthen and build relationships. So one way is you could relate an old friendship. And it's so easy with Facebook and technology to kind of disconnect from people that you might have been friends with in the past. And you always see things about them popping up on your news feed, but you might not really genuinely reach out to them to talk with them. So here's an example of one way that I have reached out to a friend, a new, deeper friendship than I've had in the past. Hey, Sarah, a picture of you and your daughter came across my newsfeed yesterday. She was absolutely adorable. Man, how times have changed since college. It has been such a long time. How are you these days? Okay, so what do you have in common with this person? Obviously, I reached out to this person because I'm a new mom and I saw that they had a picture with their daughter. Okay, so that's one thing that we have in common. And I'm genuinely interested. I haven't talked to this person in a while, but I'd like to get caught back up with them and get in touch. So, and can I add value to their lives? We have a lot of stories to share as new parents and a lot of experiences. So I also ended with a question, how are you these days? Just to leave it open that they can respond to me. So I reached out to them and now they can respond, and then hopefully that conversation will continue to develop based on the questions that we ask each other. So make sure when you are done and you're about to send that message, make sure that you have a question in there that they're going to respond to, so that you can keep the conversation going and you can continue to build that relationship. Starting a new friendship. This one can be really scary, especially when you add new friends to your network and you don't really know much about them, and you're kind of just doing it based off of their pictures and the research that you have already done. So, hey, Samantha, thanks so much for adding me as a friend. I noticed in your profile picture you had a picture of your pups. They look like so much fun. How old are they? My husband and I recently rescued a lab, and she sure keeps us on our toes. Do you ever take them to the dog park? Okay, so obviously, another thing that I would have in common with this person is that I have a dog, and she is crazy. If you ever have followed on my Facebook, she gets into a lot of things. She has some anxiety. So I have joined a group, and I've chatted with some people just about, the nature of our pets and just being a fur mom. Okay, so those things, people love to share their experiences and their stories about things that they're passionate about. So if you have an animal, that's a connection that they can make with you. Okay, so make sure, once again, you're starting a new friendship, a new conversation, a new relationship. You are asking questions and things that you actually want to know the answer to. Because maybe if I were to say, oh, do you ever take them to the dog park? And they answer, and I just respond with, awesome. Okay, my job next would be to continue to engage in that conversation. And I might want to ask, oh, awesome, I'm looking for a place to take Rennie. Do you suggest any dog parks around the area, or would you suggest staying away from any? So that is something that's going to keep the conversation going, and we're going to have good conversation. It's not just going to end with a great thanks. Okay? We're going to keep it going, which is what I just was talking about. Continue to ask questions, show interest in their story, show interest in their experiences, show interest in their successes and their hardships. And most of all, if you're going to take anything away from this, be a friend. Okay, I always tell my students you have to be a friend to have a friend. So make sure that you have the right intentions in mind. And one of the last things, if you even mention it at all, should be that you are a Beachbody coach. Okay, when you are having conversations and building those relationships, things come up. They might ask you, "Oh, what do you do? What do you where do you work?" And that might be an in for you to mention you are an online health and fitness coach. But it shouldn't be, "Hey, Beth, I just noticed that you have a daughter, and so do I. Also, I'm a health and fitness coach, and I think I can help you." Okay. I know that if it were me, if that came across my inbox, I'd be like, "Who is this person?" And I most likely wouldn't respond. So the first thing before you are even mentioning you are associated with anything Beachbody, you are a friend first. Okay? So I loved sharing some things with you guys. Remember, building relationships is what this whole business is about. You are not going to be successful without making those connections and digging deeper in those relationships.